Making headlines tonight. Major announcements from Prime Minister Hun Sen signalling the start of the kingdom's long-awaited new normal. All of the country's schools set to reopen from Monday the 1st of November, providing they meet the Health Ministry's Covid-19 protocols. And the world's biggest Ferris wheel is opened, where else but Dubai. This is the Daily Roundup on the EAC News Channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Andrew Barnes-Roberts. Prime Minister Hun Sen has made the announcements we've all been waiting for. Without specifically announcing a formal end to the 20 February community transmission event, he has taken the kingdom into a new normal. He wants flights reopened with other ASEAN countries as soon as possible and says the days of COVID-19 closures and lockdowns are over. He was speaking at Friday morning's plenary meeting of the Council of Ministers. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has our top story.
On paper, a meeting of the Council of Ministers to discuss the 2022 budget, but major statements were made by the Prime Minister regarding moving Cambodia from the pandemic stage of COVID-19 to the endemic stage, living with the virus in the so-called new normal. Firstly, he said there are to be no more closures due to COVID-19 outbreaks. He says if there are cases reported at schools, markets, factories, or other businesses, then those affected will be hospitalized, but the location itself will not be shuttered. And then came the big news. The Prime Minister instructing ministries and institutions to review the possibility of reopening flights with ASEAN member countries, most especially Thailand, which has already announced it will allow fully vaccinated people from Cambodia in, with no quarantine, from the 1st of November. The Prime Minister wants the kingdom to reciprocate with Thailand, while it also reopens routes with other ASEAN destinations. He also confirmed that the Health Ministry is no longer testing corpses for COVID-19, another signal that Cambodia's new normal is here. While COVID-19 was not specifically on the agenda of Friday's meeting of the Council of Ministers, the draft law on finance for management in 2022 was. The royal government has set the total national budget expenditure at around $8.5 billion, equivalent to 27.95% of gross domestic product, which is an increase of 8.4% over 2021. The Prime Minister says the royal government aims to collect $6.3 billion in revenue across 2022, emphasizing that the 2022 budget will focus on capacity building for the kingdom's post-pandemic recovery. Reyes Soko, EAC News.
The Ministry of Education has officially announced that all schools in the kingdom, both primary and secondary, and public and private, can reopen from Monday the 1st of November. There is one caveat, though. Schools must be able to implement the Health Ministry's protocols. EAC News reporter Yuri Motosko asked some parents and children on the streets of Phnom Penh how they were feeling about finally going back to school.
Starting next month, all public and private schools will be back in class, but with a classroom capacity of up to 20 students and the strict use of face masks throughout the day. Other sanitary measures include regular hand washing and sanitizing. As was the case with the reopening of secondary schools, primary schools must have only vaccinated teachers in class, and parents are asked to provide a packed lunch so that their children do not have to leave school's premises to get food. The reopening of primary schools comes almost 9 months after they were closed in response to the 20 February community transmission event. EAC News asked parents and children how they were feeling about the reopening.
I
am happy that the Prime Minister is reopening the school for my children. I am happy because they had stopped for so long and they used to learn on Telegram, so they can't really get what the lesson is mainly about.
I feel very happy that the school is reopening. I also feel a bit nervous too.
I felt happy when the Prime Minister decided to reopen the school. I did. I do miss my friends, my school, and the school where I used to study.
I am happy that my kids will be back at school because they haven't for so long, so they might forget their school or something. I feel happy because staying at home makes my kids forget their books, pens, and everything else because they haven't studied for so long. They didn't learn anything, so that's why I am happy that they'll be back at school.
Schools like this will be closely monitored as they reopen next month. But they won't have to worry about closing again. The Prime Minister announced on Friday that in the event of a COVID-19 outbreak at a school, those affected should be taken to a hospital and the school does not have to close. Cambodia's new normal is here. Yuri Matosco, EAC News, Phnom Penh.
Cambodia's daily COVID-19 figures continue to fall. They peaked briefly after Phnom Penh at 272 last Wednesday, but have come down sharply this past week. On Friday, the Health Ministry confirmed just 148 new COVID-19 cases by way of PCR tests. That number has not been that low since 113 cases were reported on the 8th of April. 11 more deaths have been reported overnight, though. There have been 327 patients discharged in the past 24 hours, taking the number of active cases down to 2,395. The latest stats take the kingdom's total COVID-19 case count to 117,500. The death toll has reached 2,715. The number of patients treated successfully has climbed to 112,383. Cambodia will mark the 30th anniversary of the signing of the Paris Peace Agreement on Saturday. It was signed on the 23rd of October 1991 and declared an official end to the war between Cambodia and Vietnam. A day ahead of the anniversary, a high-level round-table discussion was held to discuss the significance of the Paris Peace Agreement 30 years on. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the story.
Formally titled as the Comprehensive Cambodian Peace Agreements, they led to the deployment of the first post-Cold War peacekeeping mission of the United Nations. It was the first ever occasion in which the UN took over as the de facto government of a state. On Friday, a roundtable discussion was held at the Royal Academy of Cambodia to mark the 30th anniversary of the Paris Peace Agreement. President of the Royal Academy, Sok Tut, says the agreement has historical value but no ratification. He stresses that it has been obsolete since 1993. Tut says the agreement made Cambodians on all sides of the political divide return to the country, helping create an inclusive and empowered government. He remembers the handshake between then Prince Norodom Sihanouk with Prime Minister Hun Sen, describing it as a historical moment in Cambodia. The president of the International Relations Institute of Cambodia, Kin Pea, has also said that they recognize the value of the Paris Peace Agreement. He has emphasized that the agreement is fundamental, but people cannot dismiss the base. He was referring to the political will of the leaders as the base. As he said, without it, there can be no peace and stability, such as Cambodia enjoys today. The Paris Peace Agreement was signed by 19 countries. Some of the most fundamental things it brought to Cambodia were sovereignty, territorial integrity, neutrality, and national unity. Raya Soko, EAC News.
Dozens of families living in the Kwo Kralo district of Battambang have received relief aid from the Cambodian Red Cross. They've been dealing with severe flooding for the past few weeks, with the tail end of the rainy season bringing extremely heavy weather to the kingdom's northwest. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko has the details.
The Cambodian Red Cross donation campaign was led by the chairman of the branch committee, Kam San, and his team. Affected families each received 25 kilograms of rice, 5 liters of pure water, noodles, and canned fish. They have also received face masks and sanitizing alcohol for COVID-19 protection, as well as a small cash donation. During the meeting, Kam San brought a message from Bun Rani Hun Sen, the president of the Cambodian Red Cross. Her message is that regardless of race, color, or political affiliation, all citizens of Cambodia should enjoy good hygiene, eat well, and drink clean water, while taking care of their young children. She has advised parents to watch out for their small children, especially with water levels being so high. Bun Rani Hun Sen has also said the royal government is concerned about the floods and natural disasters, saying these events will become more common due to climate change. She has asked authorities at all levels to monitor and support the needs of the people. Yuri Matosco, EAC News.
Cambodia has announced that it will no longer be testing frozen meat from India for COVID-19. The decision came after observations that India's COVID-19 cases are dropping. But while it won't be conducting tests on imports from India, the kingdom is insisting that importers still need to present a certificate stating that the meat is COVID-19 free. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has more.
Based on studies, the coronavirus can linger on frozen food. The reason that the Cambodian government decided early this year to test frozen meat from India for COVID-19. It was also because COVID-19 cases in India were sky high. They peaked in May, but 5 months later, India's rate of COVID-19 infection is a sharp downward trend. This has been enough for the General Department of Customs and Excise to relax its protocols for Indian meat imports with effect from Monday. All importers need to do is present the certificate showing that their shipments have been certified as COVID-19 free. The Commission on Preventing the Spread of COVID-19 related to high-risk imports says that if India's COVID-19 cases continue to fall, then it will consider lifting all import requirements from the 1st of January. Back in July, Cambodian health authorities detected COVID-19 on 3 meat containers from India. The meat was burned to avoid any further spread of the virus in the kingdom. Raya Soko, EAC News.
As we reported on Thursday, the world's biggest social media app company is set to change its name. Facebook will make an announcement on Thursday next week. It could well mean that Cambodia's favorite app will be changing its name as well. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko hit the streets to find out what people thought about the big change.
No one knows yet what new name Mark Zuckerberg will give to his Facebook empire. Back when Facebook was created in 2004, the world hadn't yet experienced such vast connectivity for the general public in what became a new way of doing politics, socializing, and advertising. But the pioneer has now become the target of regulators and lawmakers over its questionable business practices. What we do know is what Zuckerberg is busy planning to rebrand his company in what he's calling a metaverse that will include his other social media giants, WhatsApp and Instagram. EAC News went along to the Department of Media and Communication at the Royal University of Phnom Penh to ask students for their thoughts on Facebook's name change.
For me, personally, I think because they want to upgrade for the new era, same to the other generation as well. So when they come to the next generation, they want to upgrade it for something new.
Facebook has many applications under Facebook itself, like Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger. So Facebook alone can only stand alone right now, and it wants to bring other applications to that level as well. So in order to do so, Facebook might be change its name that brings it together to be under one rooftop.
I think Facebook try to find something new, something more modern or more high innovative than other app to compete with other apps as well. And we have seen that there was several crash or shutdown on recently, like on Facebook, on Instagram, and also Messenger. So I think it is time Facebook to decide they should change its name as well as some program or some interface, so like that.
We also asked the students what Facebook should be changing its name to.
for me, maybe they will go with the data book because meta book is something like something news related to something news, meta something that re-innovations. Yes, so I think this one is perfect for the new one.
From my perspective, I think that it should be a face. It still remain the same. It should be a face net because like WhatsApp, Facebooks or Instagram, it still have like selfies or photos upload in the story. So face, from what I understanding, face still remain the same, and the new one is net. So it could be face net.
SOCNet like SOC and ET, so it's maybe combined with a social and network. So in social may have interact people the same like before, and also network here might be referred to the upgrading, or like we know that we already have a 5G. Maybe we have a 6G or 7G in the future as well. So Facebook try to upgrade it like this.
The new name is expected to be announced on Thursday, 28 October. Yuri Matosco, EAC News.
Now for a look at some news making international headlines this Friday, the 22nd of October.
4 people have been killed and 47 others injured after a massive gas explosion at a barbecue restaurant in China. The explosion rocked the northeastern city of Shenyang, shattering the windows of nearby buildings and halting traffic. The windows of many cars parked near the restaurants were also blown in. A bus loaded with passengers was passing by the restaurants when the explosion happened. The force of the blast knocked it more than 10 meters sideways, injuring at least 10 of the passengers. The Shenyang Fire Department dispatched 110 firefighters and 25 trucks. Ultimately, a total of 1,054 people and 307 vehicles were sent to the site to fight the blaze and search for the injured. Shenyang Gas had been rebuilding the gas pipeline network in the area the night before. It has started providing gas about 1 hour before the explosion took place. The gas company says it is unclear if it's the repairs work had led to the explosion, but an investigation is underway.
According to Nepal's Home Ministry, 77 people have died from floods and landslides after heavy rainfall over the past 3 days. Some 22 people have been injured, 26 are still missing. Swollen rivers have swept inland, with houses and roads flooded and rice paddies submerged. The flooding mainly took place in regions across western Nepal, close to the neighboring northern Indian state of Uttarakhand. At least 46 people have died in the Indian state, while in the southern state of Kerala, 27 people have been killed by flooding.
And South Korea's first domestically built space rocket blasted off on Thursday, but failed to fully place a dummy satellite into orbit. It was a case of mixed results for a test launch that represents a major leap forward for the country's ambitious space plans. President Moon Jae-in, who watched the launch from the country's space center, says that the rocket completed its flight sequences, but failed to place a test payload into orbit. The 3-stage KSLV-2 Nudie rocket, emblazoned with the national flag, launched from the NATO Space Center at 5 p.m. local time on Thursday. The Nudie, or World Rocket, is part of a broader space effort that emphasizes the launch of satellites for surveillance, navigation, communication, and even lunar probes.
Stay with the Daily Roundup. Coming up after the break, a look at the day's sports news. EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, please, please wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. EAC News' audience is growing. Our YouTube channel has over 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube. It's given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates EAC News' hard work and incredible achievement. She says we brought a unique voice and style to the world, but have also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to YouTube and search for EAC News. Subscribers get alerts when the Daily Roundup is premiering and live events are streaming. Get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. The EAC News channel on YouTube. Cambodia made clear. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear. Things are looking up for troubled club Barcelona. Its teenage football sensation Ansu Fati has extended his contract until 2027. The 18-year-old Spanish international's new deal includes a buyout clause of a staggering $1.17 billion. Fati burst onto the scene for Barcelona at the tender age of 16. He became the second youngest player in the history of La Liga. He quickly established himself as one of the most exciting young talents in the world, becoming the youngest player ever to score in the Champions League and the youngest player ever to score for Spain. Fati inherited Barcelona's number 10 jersey from Lionel Messi when he left for Paris Saint-Germain.
It had always been my dream to succeed here and keep growing here, and luckily that's what I'll be able to do, and I'm very thankful for that. Every day I will work harder in order to improve as a person and player, to give the club what they need from me.
Barca's president, Joan Laporta, says the club knows it's under pressure to up its game and says Fati will be key in turning things around.
He is a big hope for us. We know that he's already a reality. Whenever he shoots, he scores. He has a gift. We have to be cautious.
Fati is likely to provide Barcelona's main threat against Real Madrid when they meet next week in the Champions League. Barcelona can ill afford another defeat. The International Skating Union's World Cup Short Track Speed Skating Series has opened in Beijing. Skaters are looking to qualify for the 2022 Winter Olympics.
This year's World Cup consists of 4 stops starting in the Chinese capital. 232 skaters from 37 countries and regions are taking part in the 9-event competition. It's being staged in the capital indoor stadium, the official competition venue for the 2022 Winter Olympics. The Chinese team, comprising of 6 men and 6 women, including Olympic champion Wu Daijing and rising star Ren Ziwei, are on show. Following the stop in Beijing, the World Cup 2021 and 2022 season will move on to Nagoya, Japan next week, before the actions head to Europe, wrapping up at the end of next month. This season is the first full campaign after the World Short Track Speed Skating Championship was disrupted by an epidemic last year.
Sina Fry and Laura Stiga have won a decisive 5th consecutive stage at the Cape Epic in South Africa on Thursday. The 91 Songo Specialized riders extended their overall lead to 17 minutes in the 4th stage, which took the riders on a 73-kilometer trek from Tulbagh to Slanhoek in the Western Cape. After a crash for Salomed's Ariane Luthi, Faces CST's Candice Lill and Mariska Strauss snuck into 2nd place, moving into 3rd overall. Luthi went straight to the medics at the finish, but she and her teammate Robin de Groot still came 3rd in the stage despite the crash, maintaining their 2nd position overall. In the men's race, Hans Becking and Jose Diaz of Buff Scott MTB won the stage, with overall leaders Matt Beers and Jordan Saru of 91 Songo Specialized taking 2nd. Beers and Saru have extended their overall lead, helped by the fact that their nearest rivals, Canyon Northwave MTV's Martin Stoshek, did not race due to a tummy bug. Team Bull's Simon Schneller was also ill overnight. He still started the race, but together with teammate Urs Huber, lost 20 minutes on the day's stage to finish in 6th place. Friday's 5th stage is an 84-kilometer race through the stunning scenery of Wellington. This 17th edition of the Cape Epic ends on Sunday. All right, let's take a look at how the weather's looking for the weekend. And finally, as if we didn't need another excuse to visit Dubai, the city has inaugurated the world's biggest Ferris wheel. It's part of the city's strategy to reinforce its status as a major tourism hub in the wake of the pandemic. Dubai! In a blaze of fireworks, together with a lavish drone show, the Dubai Eye was declared open to the world. By night, a little difficult to appreciate its size, but by day, its sheer height is easier to take in. It stands a whopping 250 meters tall. It can take 1,750 people at a time. The only downside to its size is that you only go around once, on a hair-raising half-hour ride. But that didn't seem to bother its first visitors.
This is the largest Ferris wheel, so pretty excited to be here and to be part of the history.
Yeah, currently it's the sunset time and we're very excited. It's going to be fireworks, it's going to be crazy, and it's going to be a history made. It's like one of the largest Ferris wheel that we're going to see, and it's going to be amazing.
The biggest Ferris wheel in the world. It's the first day, it's the grand opening, and we are lucky to be at the same place.
It is the latest attraction to open in the region's tourism and business hub after the waxwork museum Madame Tussauds opened earlier this week. Dubai is hoping to attract millions to its Expo 2020 World Fair, which opened earlier in October. Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup here on the EAC News channel. Look at more breaking news and updates from our website. Head to www.eacnews.asia. You can also search for EAC News on Telegram and at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team in the weekly Roundup tomorrow night at 8. I will see you then.